I was hoping it was gonna be a flip. I was hoping he was gonna flip successfully, but now he wants to flop. Now he wants to flop to Hamas. Statehood first. Statehood first. You should have flipped. You want to betray all the Arabs and the little children, then all the little children and the Arabs will betray you. I mean, the vibe was so about Ewoks, and he still didn't flip. You fucking wrecked it, man. You ruined it. You ruined the whole fucking show. You ruined the whole picture. You ruined the shot. You ruined the plot. You ruined the shot. You ruined the plot. It's state first. Statehood first. Statehood first. I'm sitting there whispering in his ear. Do it for the Ewoks. Do it for the Ewoks, man. Tell him, well, do it for the Ewoks. You're going to be Glinda. You're going to be Glenda. Do it for the Ewoks.
Very quickly and very badly, as if their son
ruined the shot.
Or daughter were alive.
Ruined the shot. You would have been Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Michael Jackson, Kobe.
Killing in Ukraine.
Now you want to deflect, like a colonizer.
Wars that I stopped.
Like a colonizer.
I thought that would be the easiest because of my relationship with.
You want a Nobel Peace Prize? You want a single friend in the Arab world after today? You should flip on Palestinian statehood, like immediately.
You never know what's going to happen.
Like immediately, because that's what you come. You come with the good offer first.
Everyone thought Russia would win.
Now you're blowing
in 3 days.
Now you're blowing the
but
whole
it didn't work
shot.
out that way.
Stinking up my stage.
It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia
blowing up the whole shot.
It's making them look bad. No matter what happens.
You know what's making you look bad is Ewoks. I'm like, man, do it for the Ewoks. You want the Ewoks to come and haunt you?
3.5 years. Killing anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000.
Does he want the Ewoks to haunt him forever?
Young soldiers, mostly soldiers, on both sides.
See, what you should have done is you should have flipped. You should have flipped on the Zionists already, and then the Zionists wouldn't come back to haunt you, and you wouldn't have lost all your Arab friends.
Where rockets are shot, where drones are dropped.
Flip. I keep saying, flip. It'll be the greatest thing ever. It'll be the greatest thing ever. You'll be the fucking hero of the fucking universe. You'll be the greatest president of the 21st century.
Look what happened to the United States. And look where we are right now.
I said you would have been the greatest president of the 21st century. Everybody would have had to acknowledge your greatness and America's greatness because our First and Second Amendment worked.
China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing
but instead,
war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries
you wanted to play domestic politics on an international stage, stinking it up. Stinking it up. Stinking it up.
In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States.
The argument was over when they wrote Maggie's Farm.
A very strong round of
about Golda Meir.
Tariffs, which would
and they knew that some asshole would want to try to deflect and take the fight to the Ukraine and say, well, this is the same shit.
All of you are gathered here right now would have to join us in adopting the exact same
goddammit,
measures.
What I said? Statehood for Palestine first.
You're much closer to this. We have an ocean.
Then you'll be able to deal with your problems instead of making some brand new ones.
And Europe has to step it up.
What I said about not having any Arab friends.
Buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia. It's embarrassing to them, and it was very embarrassing to them when I found out about it, I can tell you that. They have to immediately cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time.
Now who's Russia?
So I'm ready to discuss this.
Who's Russia now? Well, after I told you, man.
All gathered here.
Ewoks can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Speak about it, but that's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth. As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us in ending the development of biological weapons once and for all. And biological is terrible, and nuclear.
You're supposed to flip.
is
And it was
even
already
beyond
too late
if
for
we
the
include
Ewoks.
nuclear in that. We want to have a cessation of the development of nuclear weapons. We know, and I get to view it all the time. Sir, would you like to see? And I look at weapons.
What did you do? You failed.
That are so
You
powerful.
failed to be the greatest leader in the world.
We just
I
can't
said,
ever
if
use
you
them.
want to be the greatest leader in the
ever use
world,
them,
if you want to bring glory
the
to
world
America
literally
and to
might come to an
yourself,
end.
you flip to the
There would be no
Palestinian
United
side
Nations to be talking about.
and do something that shocks
There would
the
be no
shocks the
nothing.
world in a beautiful
Just a few
way.
years ago, reckless experiments
Instead,
overseas
now
gave
we're
us a
back in the fucking
devastating
muck.
global
Now we're back in the
pandemic.
fucking muck
Yet
slinging
despite that worldwide
bullshit.
catastrophe, many countries are continuing extremely risky research
Right
into
back down in the
bioweapons
slop.
and man-made pathogens. This is unbelievably dangerous. To prevent potential disasters, I'm announcing today that my administration
You could
will
have been
lead
a
an
star.
international effort
You
to
could have
enforce
rose to the
biological
moment, and you
weapons
could have given
convention,
us the shot that we
which is
wanted.
going to be meeting with the top
What
leaders
we
of
wanted
the
to see,
world
all of us,
by pioneering an AI verification system
was to see you
that
save
everyone
the
can
children
trust. Hopefully,
from
the
propaganda
UN can
bullshit.
play a constructive role, and it will
Instead,
also be one of the early projects under AI. Let's see how good it is, because a lot of people are
you
saying
came
it
down.
could be one of the great things
You know I got
ever,
you high.
but it also
And I'm
can
so
be
upset that you
dangerous,
came
but
down.
it can be put to tremendous use and tremendous good, and this would be an example of that. Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us
What
to
I said
solve.
was,
The best example
today was the
is the
day
number one political issue of
Today
our
was
time,
the
the
day
crisis of uncontrolled
to
migration.
flip
It's uncontrolled.
to
Your
the
countries are
Palestinian
being
side.
ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million
Because it
in
would have been,
cash assistance to
it would have made
support
everyone happy.
an estimated 624,000
You,
migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation,
Arabs have
and
been very
debit cards
polite and
to illegal
cordial,
aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to
wondering how would I
infiltrate
like to be
our
dealt with?
southern
How would
border.
Muhammad deal with someone?
Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring
Not
in.
only are the
25
Arabs going to
million
betray you,
altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent
DPRK is
Biden
not going to take you
administration.
seriously.
And now we have it stopped, totally stopped.
Ewoks
they're
are
not
now
even
your
coming
problem. You
anymore
should have
because they know
flipped
they
on the
can't get through.
Zionists. Now Ewoks are
But
going to
what
be your
took
problem.
place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create
What a
them,
flop.
and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated
What a
crime,
flop, man.
and deplete our social safety net.
You would
We
have had them
have
on their feet.
reasserted
You would have
that
had the whole place
America
on its feet,
belongs to the American
applauding.
people, and I
The whole
encourage all
world at your
countries to
feet.
take their
History
own
at your
stand
feet. The greatest
in
president of the
defense of
21st
their
century. Now
citizens as well.
you're just
You
a
have to do
guy
that
who's
because
begging the
I
Nobel
see it.
Committee to
I'm not
acknowledge him.
mentioning names, I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed.
Should have been
Europe is in
Palestinian
serious
statehood
trouble.
first. That was
They've
the
been
kind of
invaded by
UN
a
General
force of
Assembly
illegal
we were having,
aliens
and
like
you showed up
nobody's ever seen
and took
before.
a turd on the
Illegal
fucking
aliens
stage.
are pouring into Europe. Nobody
Took a
is
turd
ever,
about
and nobody's
rewarding Hamas on the
doing
stage.
anything to change it, to get them out.
And instead, you rewarded baby
It's
killers.
not sustainable.
Ewoks and
And because they choose
Zionists
to be politically
and
correct,
babies should
doing
rightfully
just
be your now
absolutely
fucking problem
nothing
for the rest
about
of
it.
your administration.
and I have to say, I look at
Like-
London where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed. Now they want to go to,
He would have had the whole
Sharia
place. He
law.
would have literally had the whole
But you're in a
place
different
on
country.
its
You
feet,
can't do that.
applauding, crying.
both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the
What a
death of
flop.
Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained.
You put the
What
ice
makes the
cream
world so
on the apple
beautiful is that
pie.
each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to control your borders,
I mean, Cool Whip.
as we do now,
Cool Whip, but
to limit the sheer numbers of migrants
Ice cream.
entering their countries and
The ice
paid for
cream
by
of
the
sovereign
people
statehood
of
goes
that
on apple
nation
pie.
that were there and that built that
That's what we
particular
have the First
nation
and
at
Second
the time.
Amendment for. You blew it, buddy.
They put their
You blew it.
blood, sweat, tears, money
You blew
into
it.
that country, and now they're being ruined.
Now you're just
Proud
looking like an
nations must be
uglier
allowed
version
to
of Bernie
protect their
Sanders.
communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything, where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for
An uglier version of
illegitimate
Bernie
reasons.
Sanders.
They should, in many cases, be immediately sent home. And while we will always have a big heart for places and
Lieberman.
people that are struggling and truly compassionate, answers will be given. We have to solve the problem, and we have to solve it in their countries, not create new problems in our countries. And we are very helpful to a lot of countries that are just not able to send their people anymore. They used to send them to us in caravans of 25, 30,000 people each. These massive caravans of people pouring into our country.
I said, well, look, do a non-nuclear deal, but if you don't do it with
Not
Palestine, you're
anymore.
really losing the
According
plot.
to the
I don't know
Council
who's
of
in your
Europe,
ear.
in 2024, almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were foreign nationals or migrants. In Austria, the number was 53%.
Who do I think it was
of
that
the people
spoofed
in prisons were
spoofed Kirk's mic?
from places that weren't
What I
from where they
I
are
would
now.
imagine it was the Zionists
In
who gave
Greece,
him the
the
mic,
number was
who gave him the vest.
54%, and in
set 'em
Switzerland,
up.
beautiful Switzerland, 72%.
But anyways, that's
of people
neither here
in
nor there.
prisons are from outside
What's here and now
Switzerland.
is your
When your
flop.
prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's
You flopped.
what they
You could
did.
have
They
gone
repaid
up there. You could have
kindness
supported
with crime.
Palestinian statehood. You could
It's time
have
to
looked
end the
good
failed
next to your
experiment
peers.
of open borders. You have to end it
Now you look bad
See,
next to
I
your
can tell you,
peers. You look bad in front of the
I'm really
Arabs.
good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Terrible in front of the Arabs.
In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration.
In particular,
Once
Saudi
we started
Arabia.
detaining and deporting everyone who crossed the border and removing illegal aliens from the United States, they simply stopped coming. They're not coming anymore. We're getting a lot of credit, but
Yeah,
they're
nobody's
not coming
coming.
anymore.
Nobody's coming to the United States because
This was
they
a
don't want to be here because it's a bad
humanitarian
vibe.
For all involved, because
Wreck the
on the
vibe,
trips
man.
up, thousands of people a week were dying. Women were being raped. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Raped, horribly.
Yeah, but what about the
beaten,
Ewoks?
Raped on the trip up, the journey up. It was a long walk. It was a long, arduous journey, indeed. And it was also a historic victory
And so you
against
should
human
have flipped for the
trafficking
Ewoks like everybody
throughout the
did.
region. What we did was a victory.
Instead-
And we saved so many lives of people that wouldn't make the journey. That journey
You ruined the shot,
was
man.
loaded up with death. Loaded up with death. Dead bodies all along
It's not too late to flip.
the roads of jungles to get up. They go through jungles, they go through
the
areas
wait
so
till
hot you
after
couldn't
Yom
breathe.
Kippur?
They were dying of suffocation. Areas so hot that you couldn't breathe. Dead bodies all over. By them not coming, we're saving tremendous numbers of lives. My people have done a fantastic job in doing.
See, that's what you don't
they
win the
did,
Nobel
and
Peace
the
Prize
American
for.
public
Waiting for Yom
agrees with it.
Kippur.
I mean, I was very proud
Instead
to
of
see
giving
this
us a
morning I have the
cinematic
highest poll
moment in
numbers I've
history,
ever
instead of
had.
giving us a
Part of
real
it is
moment
because
in
of what
history,
we've done on
rising
the
to the
border. I guess
occasion.
the other part is what we've done on the
You
economy.
sunk. You didn't rise to the
Joe
occasion. You
Biden's
sunk to the
policies
level.
empowered murderous gangs, human smugglers, child traffickers, drug cartels, and prisoners.
to the
Prisoners from
level.
all over the world. The previous administration also
You
lost
could have
nearly
made
300,000
people's
children.
minds and
They
hearts right
lost
then just explode with
more
joy.
than 300,000 children, little children, who were trafficked into the United
Minds
States
and, people's minds
on
and
the Biden
souls
watch.
could have
Many of
exploded
whom
with
have
joy
been raped,
and
exploited, and abused, and
evolved in
sold.
that direction towards the joy that was
Sold.
exploding from
Nobody
their
talks
hearts
about
and their
that.
minds.
The fake news doesn't write about it. With many others, young children
But you
who are
flopped.
missing or dead. And we found a lot of these children and we're sending them
You
back.
flopped. You
And
could have
we've
been
sending them back to
the
their
greatest
parents.
president.
They said nobody knows who they are. They said,
And
"Where do you
evolved in
come
that
from?" And
direction.
They'll give us a country and we'll
That
find
would have been
out,
your
and we'll figure it out, and we'll bring them back
new
to their
status
homes.
quo, your new
And the mother or
motif.
father rushed to the door.
Would have
and
changed
their
your whole
tears in
life and
their
everyone
eyes.
else's.
They can't believe that
Instead,
they're seeing their son or
it was
daughter,
good
their
enough
little son
because
or
you were
daughter
all right.
again. We've done almost 30,000
And everyone else
of them so far.
particularly
Any
the poor
system that
Ewoks.
results in the mass trafficking of
Had to suffer
children
because you wouldn't flip.
is inherently evil. Yet that is exactly what the globalist
Here I
migration
am.
agenda
Here
has
I
done,
am,
and it's what it's
trying
all
to be your
about.
buddy.
In America, those days, as you know, are over. The Trump administration is working,
Trying my best.
and we are continuing to work to track down the villains that are causing this problem, and also, as I said, to get back the 30,000 we've already returned. Now I think we're going to have another. We're going to find a lot. You're not going to find all of them. 300, more than 300,000.
He's still talking about immigrants.
They're lost or they're dead. They're lost or they're dead because of the animals that did this. To protect our
Man,
citizens,
you know
I've
who's the
also
animals? It's the
designated
Zionists, and you
multiple
should have flipped on them, because now
savage drug
everybody's going to say,
cartels
"Oh,
as
well, you're
far
in
as
bed
to-
with the
You
Zionists."
see this, and you see it happening
Poor
right
kids.
before your eyes.
Poor kids is your
Let's put
fault,
it this way,
because you
people
were so
don't
in
like
bed with the
taking
Zionists, you ruined
Big loads
September
of drugs
23rd
in boats anymore.
For everyone.
There aren't too many boats that are traveling
for everyone.
on the seas by Venezuela. They tend not to want to travel very
Glossed
quickly
over Gaza, even though that's what
And
this whole
we
UN
virtually
General
stop
Assembly is
drugs
about.
coming into our country by sea. We call them the water drugs. They kill
You flopped. You ruined my
hundreds of
day.
thousands of people. I've also designated multiple
You ruined my
savage drug cartels as far as foreign terrorist organizations, along with two bloodthirsty transnational
Everybody's gonna
gangs,
be on the
probably
drugs
the
the
worst
bad way
gangs
now.
anywhere in the world, MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua is from Venezuela, by the way. Such organizations torture, maim, mutilate, and murder with impunity. They're the enemies of all humanity. For this reason, we've recently begun using the supreme power of the United States military to destroy Venezuelan terrorists and
Look,
trafficking networks led by
I'm not here to
Nicolas
be an
Maduro.
asshole.
To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that
Don't
we
do it.
will blow you out of existence.
What do you think
That's
an oil
what we're
embargo
doing. We
would
have
do
no choice.
to the
Can't let
United
it
States
happen. They're
economy after
destroying.
this?
I believe we lost
What
300,000
do
people
you
last
think an
year
oil
to drugs.
embargo?
300,000. Fentanyl and other drugs. Each
Why would
boat
they
that
oil
we sink
embargo you?
carries drugs
You
that
got
would
up there,
kill
talked shit
more
about
than
Putin
25,000
and abandoned the
Americans.
Arabs.
We will
You
not
abandoned
let
the
that
Arabs, you
happen.
talk shit about Putin. Why
Energy
wouldn't there
is
be an
another
OPEC
area
embargo
where the
against
United
it?
States is now thriving like never before. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way, they're
Because
a
I'll think of your
joke.
career, you
They
Uber
don't
driver.
work.
$7 gallon
Too
gas,
expensive.
whatever.
They're not strong enough to fire up the plants that you need to make your country great. The wind doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad, so expensive to operate. And they have to be rebuilt all
windmills
the
than an oil
time.
embargo.
They start to rust and rot. Most expensive energy ever conceived, and
Don't
it's
get mad.
actually energy. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money.
When
You
you're
lose
getting mad,
money,
you
the
should have just
governments have
flipped.
to subsidize. You can't put them out without
Should have just
massive
flipped.
subsidies. And most of them are built
To
in
the
China, and I
Palestinian
give
side.
China a lot of credit. They build them, but they very few
Don't you
wind
like our
farms. So
outfits?
why is it that they build them and they send them all over the world, but they barely use them? You know what they use? Coal. They use gas. They use almost anything, but they don't like wind. But they sure as hell like selling
Did you
the
get the sense that
windmills.
everybody was
Europe,
waiting
on
for
the
you
other
to
hand, is
do
a
one
long way to
thing
go,
and then
with
you
many
did the other thing?
countries
Everybody was
being
waiting
on
for
the
you to
brink of
zig and you
destruction
zagged
because of the
horribly.
green energy agenda, and I give a lot of credit to Germany. Germany was being led down a very sick path, both on immigration, by
You're
the way,
flopping,
and
buddy.
on energy.
You're
They
flopping.
were going green, and they were going bankrupt.
You should have flipped.
And the new leadership came in, and they
Even if you want to wait until
went
after
back
Yom
to where
Kippur.
they were.
That's just
With fossil
unnecessary
fuel and with nuclear, which is good. It's now safe.
and incinematic.
You can do it properly. But they went back to where they were, and they
Should have flipped for
opened
the
up a lot
Ewoks
of
and been
different
Glenda the
plants,
good
energy
politician.
plants, energy producing plants, and they're doing well. I give Germany a lot of credit for that. They've said this is a disaster, what's happening.
Well, are you a good
They were
politician
going
or
all
a
green.
bad
All
politician?
green
Because a good
is
politician
all
would want a
bankrupt.
good strategic
That's what it
relationship with Arabs.
represents. And it's not politically correct. I'll be very badly
But a bad
criticized for
politician
saying
pisses
it,
that away
but I'm here to tell the truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter to
because
me.
he was in the habit of it.
I'm in New York City. I'm
You just
feeling
got a bad
lot safer.
Zionist habit,
Crime,
man.
we're getting crime down. And by the way, speaking of crime, Washington, D.C. was the crime capital of America. Now it's after 12 days, it's a totally safe city. Everyone's going out to dinner. They're going out to restaurants. Your wife can walk down the
Everybody
middle
would
of
have
the
forgiven
street.
you. Iran would have
With or
forgiven
without
you.
you, nothing's going to happen. My people have done
I said,
a
look,
fantastic job.
you
And
can
yes, I called in
do
the National Guard.
Alderon. You can do the
And the
Alderon
National
scene
Guard took care of
and look like a
business, and
tough
they weren't
guy. But if you
politically
want the
correct, but they
Iranians
took
to
care of
forgive
business.
you
We
after
got
that, you're going to have to flip on the
1,700
Palestinian
career
issue.
criminals
And the
out,
Arabs
brought
will
them back
say,
to where
well,
they came from, the countries where they came from, or put them in jails.
we
Washington,
see what you did when you
D.C.
had
is
the
now
chance
a
to
totally
really
safe
be
city
right
again.
there on the spot.
And I welcome you to come. In fact, we'll have dinner together at a local restaurant, and we'll be able to walk. We don't have to go by an armor-plated vehicle. We'll walk right over there from the White House. They've given up their
What if what? Lamed up.
powerful edge, a lot of the
Lamed
countries
up.
that we're talking about in oil and gas, such as essentially closing the great North Sea oil. Oh, the North Sea, I know it so well. Aberdeen was the
You can
oil
fake it for a
capital of
while as
Europe.
long as you got both
And this
houses.
tremendous oil that hasn't been
You
found
can
in the
fake it
North
like
Sea.
you're not.
Tremendous oil.
But let me
I
tell you
was with
something.
the Prime
You know,
Minister
the
I respect
Quran,
and like a
the
lot, and I
Quran
said, "Your
constantly
city with the
warns people
greatest
to
asset."
avoid
They
the mistakes of
essentially
the Jews.
closed it by making it
And
so
that's
highly taxed
a really vital
that
part
no
of the Quran.
developer,
And
no
I'm here to warn
oil
you to
company
avoid the
can go
mistakes of
there.
the
They
Democrats.
have tremendous
And
oil
boy, you
left,
just fucking fell in it
and
face
more
first.
importantly, they have tremendous oil that hasn't even been found yet.
Right into the Democrats' fucking
And
slop.
what a tremendous asset for the United Kingdom. And I hope the Prime Minister is listening, because I told it to him 3 days in a row. That's all he heard.
All you
North
gotta do
Sea
is flip.
oil, North Sea, because I want to
Go talk
see
to your
them do
talk to
well.
your counterparts
I
in
want
the
to
Arab
stop
world.
seeing them ruining that beautiful
They might be honest with you for once.
Scottish and English
Rich guy.
countryside with windmills and massive solar panels that go 7
You ever
miles
worked?
by 7 miles.
Did you
taking
have to
away
lie to a
farmland.
rich man?
But we're not letting this happen in America. In 1982, the executive director of the United Nations Environmental Program predicted that by the year 2000, climate change would cause a global catastrophe. He said that it will be irreversible, as any nuclear holocaust would be. This is what they said at the United Nations. What
Man,
happened?
you would have
Here we are.
had such an easier time
Another UN
with
official
Russia
stated in
and Korea
1989 that within a decade,
by
entire
not trying
nations
to
could be
skip
wiped off the map
Return of the Jedi.
by global warming. Not
Trying to
happening.
skip the end of Return of the Jedi.
You know, it used to be global cooling. If you look back,
What happened when
years
he
ago
flipped
in
in Return of the Jedi? He
and
went
the
down
1930s, they said,
as great as FDR.
global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something.
Now he's
Then they
number
said
2.
global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting
Number
cooler.
2 in the
So now they
21st
could just
century.
call it climate change, because that way they can't. Yes, it's climate change. Because if it goes
Because I tell you
higher
what,
or lower,
the rest of the
whatever
world
hell
in history
happens,
doesn't give a
there's
shit
climate
about the
change.
American economy.
It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world.
The rest
in
of the
my
world
opinion.
in human
Climate
history does
change,
not give a
no matter
shit
what happens,
about the
you're
human
involved
economy.
in that. No more global warming,
Fossil
no more
fuels
global
or
cooling.
whatever.
All of these predictions made by the United
Is that what you're
Nations
trying to
and
do?
many
You're trying to-
others, often for bad reasons.
Trying to say, well, look at how much
were
gas I'm
wrong.
selling. Well, what if they raise the price?
They were made by
They could just
stupid
raise the
people,
price by not
but
selling
of
to
course
you.
their country's fortunes and given those same countries no
And then they'll make
chance for
more.
success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign
I
they had
told
a
you,
hat.
man.
The
Flip
best-selling
to the
hat. Trump
Palestinian
was
side.
right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything.
Oh, but what if I wait
And
till
I'm
after
telling
Yom
you
Kippur?
that if you don't get away from
That
the
was
green
unnecessarily
energy
destructive.
scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. I'm the president of the United States,
People
but
that
I
you've
worry
never
about
seen
Europe. I
before,
love
people
Europe.
that you
I
have
love the
nothing in
people of Europe.
common with. You said,
And I hate
you
to
talking about the
see
Ewoks?
it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake.
I
and
said,
they
man, I
cannot
can't tell you anything
let
but
that
what the
happen
truth
any
was. I said, if you
longer.
don't
You're doing
flip,
it
you're going
because
to
you
ruin
wanna
the
be
moment
nice.
of history.
You want to be politically
You've ruined a
correct, and
historical
you're
moment
destroying
for everyone.
your heritage. They must take control strongly
Except
and immediately
for
of the
the worst people
unmitigated
in the room.
immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe,
The
Before it's
phoniest,
too
the
late.
phoniest,
the carbon
most full
footprint
of shit people
is
in
a
the room.
hoax made up by people with
The
evil
mark of
intentions
civility is not a pile of
and
dead
they're heading
babies,
down a path
such as we have in
of total
Gaza.
destruction.
And
you know,
you
the
should know
carbon
that.
footprint was a
And
big,
if you
big
don't know
thing.
that, And the press is
few
afraid to
years
tell you
ago,
directly. They'll tell you
I
through the
remember
Epstein
hearing about
narrative.
the carbon footprint, and then President Obama would get into Air Force One, a massive Boeing
What about the Epstein
747,
narrative? It's out of my
and
hands.
not a new
man.
one, an old one with old engines that spew
All I can do is
everything
give you
into
good
the
advice
atmosphere.
and hope that you take it.
He'd talk about the carbon footprint. We must do something. Then he'd get in, and he'd fly from Washington
My
to
advice
Hawaii
was flip.
to play a round
I don't know
of
why
golf.
you don't listen to me.
And then he'd get back onto that big, beautiful plane, and he'd fly back, and he'd talk about, again, global warming and the carbon footprint. It's a con job. At extreme cost and expense, Europe reduced its own carbon footprint by 37%. Think of that. Congratulations, Europe. Great job. You cost yourself a lot of jobs, a lot of factories closed, but you reduced the carbon footprint by 37%.
Better job.
However,
And you
for all
just
of that
sat there and said, ooh,
sacrifice and
butter.
much more, it's been totally wiped out and then some by a global increase of 54%. Much of it coming from China and other countries that are thriving around
You know,
China,
everybody would have owed you a favor then.
which now produces more CO2 than all
everybody
the
would
other
have owed
developed
you a
nations in the world. So all of these countries are working so hard on the carbon footprint, which is nonsense, by the way. It's nonsense. You know, it's interesting. In the United States, we have still radicalized environmentalists, and they want the factories to stop. Everything should
Nobody,
stop.
you know what?
No
You
more cows. We
flopped
don't want
so
cows anymore. I guess they want to
monumentously,
kill
and you
all
want
the
to talk
cows. They
about
want to do things that are just
the fucking
unbelievable,
environment.
and you have it too. But you know, we have a border strong, and we have a shape, and that shape
told you,
doesn't
man.
just go straight up. That shape is
Don't. This is
amorphous
what
when it
flies in
comes
an
to the
American election
atmosphere.
does not fly.
And if we had the
in
most
history.
clean air, and I think we do, we have very clean air. We have the cleanest air we've had in many, many years. But the problem is that other countries,
You
like
flopped.
China,
You flopped.
which has air that's a
You
little
should have
bit
flipped
rough,
to the Palestinian side, and you
it
flopped.
blows. And no matter what
Now
you're
everybody
doing
wants to
down
be told.
here, the air up here tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries where their air isn't so clean.
Democrats would have
And
had
the
to.
environmentalists
Democrats would have
refuse to
had to
acknowledge
fall at
that.
your feet.
Same thing with garbage. In Asia, they dump much of their garbage right into the ocean. And over about a 1 week and 2
Christians
week
who blame the
journey,
Zionists for Charlie
it
Kirk,
flows
of which there are many,
right past Los Angeles. You've
would
seen
have
it. Massive
erupted into
amounts of
praise.
garbage, almost too much to do anything about. Flowing past Los
Instead,
Angeles, past
you
San
wanted
Francisco.
to cart out the same
and then
old
somebody would
bullshit
get in trouble because
because
he
it
dropped
was
a
working
cigarette
for you.
on the
Huh?
beach.
It's working for you.
The whole thing is crazy.
Working for you.
The primary effect of these brutal green energy policies has not been to help the environment, but to redistribute
I'm sorry, man.
manufacturing and industrial activity.
I tried
from
my
developed
best.
countries that follow the
I tried my best.
insane rules that are put down to polluting countries that break the rules